Welcome to Heart Scrolls. Today, we dive into the emotional journey of Alex, a simple dreamer who turned his struggles into an inspiring legacy. If you love powerful stories that touch the heart, make sure to like, share, and subscribe because this story is one you'll never forget. Let's begin. Silence often tells deeper stories than noise. In a small town where life was quiet but dreams were endless, there lived a boy, Alex. His world was different from the other kids. He didn't talk much, didn't mix with people, but his eyes carried a unique spark, the kind only deep dreamers have. Alex's home was simple, a small middle-class house, a mother who worked day and night to keep food on the table, and a father worn out by life's hardships. Poverty had dimmed many joys, but Alex's eyes never stopped dreaming. At night, when the world slept, Alex would climb onto the roof and stare at the sky. The stars filled his heart with strange hope. He would whisper to himself, one day, my dream will come true." But what was that dream? It wasn't about money or fame. Alex dreamed of doing something that would change the world, something that would live forever in people's hearts. He wanted his quiet voice to be a light for someone lost in the dark. When other kids were playing, Alex sat in a corner writing stories, sometimes on paper, sometimes only in his heart. At school they called him the quiet kid because he barely spoke. But when teachers read his writings, they were stunned. His words carried a strange magic, a feeling that touched the soul. But the world doesn't always accept dreamers. His classmates often mocked him. "Writing won't make you a hero, Alex. It's just a waste of time." He would just smile quietly because deep down he knew this dream was his to protect and his to achieve. Alex didn't have much. No money, no connections, no power, but he had one thing: courage. He filled little notebooks with his thoughts and stories. Days were spent in school or doing odd jobs, and nights belonged to his dreams. Sometimes his mother would peek into his room and see him still writing under the light. She would softly say, "Son, sleep is important too." With a gentle smile he would reply, "Mom, dreamers don't sleep easily." One day the school announced a story writing competition. Every student submitted their stories, and when the results were out, the teacher announced, "First prize goes to Alex." The entire classroom went silent. The boy they once laughed at was now standing at the top. That day, a spark lit in his heart, the belief that no dream is too big if you're willing to work for it. But the journey of a dream is never straight. What will you earn from writing? Life runs on reality, not dreams. He heard these words often. Even his father would sometimes say, "Alex, face reality. Stories don't feed you." But Alex knew dreams are only for those strong enough to chase them. He kept listening to his inner voice and moving forward quietly. He made a decision. No matter how hard life was, he would turn his dream into reality. He started small, winning small contests, publishing his writings on blogs, slowly showing the world that even quiet people can shine. Sleepless nights, constant learning, and endless self-improvement became his way of life. One night, staring at the stars, he made himself a silent promise: "I will show the world that quiet people can win loudly. One day, my dream will come true, not just for me, but for everyone who ever dreamed in silence." That promise marked the true beginning of his journey, the journey of a quiet dreamer. For Alex, solitude was never a burden. It was a companion that stayed with him every moment. While other boys laughed and played noisily, he would sit quietly in a corner sketching the outlines of his dreams in his notebook. People would often say, "Alex is strange. He's always alone." But the truth was, his solitude was his greatest strength. On silent nights, Alex would sit in the small garden of his home, gazing at the endless sky. Among the shining stars, he could see his own story, that of an ordinary boy quietly preparing to change the world. He would often whisper to himself, "Today I'm alone, but one day this silence will turn into the applause of success." For others, solitude was a weakness, but Alex knew it was his power. Neighbors would often tell his mother, "Mrs. Brown, your son is always alone. He should make some friends." Alex would just smile quietly and think to himself, "People only notice the noise. They never understand the strength of silent hard work." It was solitude that gave Alex the chance to truly understand himself. He began to see his strengths, his weaknesses, and his dreams with clarity. In that silence, he made a promise to himself. He would give something new to the world. He would prove that even a quiet boy could amaze everyone. He would write his own story, not let anyone else write it for him. Books became Alex's closest companions. Stories of successful people, books on psychology, science, and innovation, they filled his room. Each page he read took him into a new world, and every story brought him a step closer to his dreams. Alex learned from solitude, wisdom hides in silence. Big dreams grow in quiet places. The world won't understand you until you win. When Alex started sharing his dreams, the world laughed at him. "You?" That one word echoed in his ears again and again. People just couldn't believe that a quiet, soft-spoken boy could dare to dream so big. But Alex never let their laughter break him. Instead, he turned it into his strength. Whenever Alex talked about his plans, people smirked. "These are just things you read in books. Real life doesn't work like that." Even his school friends treated his ideas like a joke. But Alex never took their words to heart. Instead, he'd write them down in his diary and whisper to himself, "These words will echo behind my success one day." Alex never shouted to prove his worth. He had learned that the best reply to mockery is quiet, consistent hard work. He stayed up late at night, reading, planning, and sharpening his skills. His belief never wavered. "One day, those same people laughing at me will remember my name." The world's taunts taught Alex an important lesson. Dreams need to be protected. He began sharing less and working more in silence, letting his actions, not his words, do the talking. Even during those moments of ridicule, a light of courage kept burning in Alex's heart. He told himself, "They laugh because they can't see what I see. They can't see the light of the dream glowing inside me." That laughter became a constant reminder. The road was tough, but never impossible. Alex knew time changes everything, and one day the same world that laughed at him would be the one applauding him. Alex's journey toward his dreams was anything but easy. With every new step, his hope for success grew, but life doesn't always play fair. His first big failure left a wound so deep that it took a long time to heal. After months of hard work, Alex prepared his very first project presentation. He was confident this would be the shining start of his journey. But when he sat in the interview room waiting for his chance, his ideas were dismissed over and over. In the end, he heard the sharp words, "You're not ready for this yet. Try again." Those words cut through him like a knife. It felt as if all his sleepless nights, his sacrifices, and his endless effort had been thrown away. On the way back home, one question kept echoing in his mind. Am I really this weak? When he entered his room, his eyes fell on the board covered with maps of his dreams and plans. For a moment, he felt like tearing it all down, giving up on everything and living an ordinary, quiet life. That night, Alex didn't tell anyone what happened. In the silent darkness of his room, he lay on his bed with his face buried in the pillow and cried quietly. The strong Alex, the one who always gave others hope, felt crushed under the weight of his own broken hopes. But the next morning, as sunlight slowly filled his room, Alex stood in front of the mirror. There was still exhaustion and pain in his eyes, but deep inside a small spark had been lit. Looking straight at his reflection, he whispered to himself, "This failure will not break me. This is my first wound, but it will only make me stronger." Alex realized that failure isn't the end, it's the beginning. This wound taught him that the path to success is filled with thorns. Only those who dare to walk through that pain are the ones who turn their dreams into reality. The darkness of failure had shaken Alex, but deep within his heart a small ray still shined, a ray of courage. It was faint, but powerful enough to keep him from losing himself in the shadows. One cold morning when the city streets were still quiet, Alex sat by the window of his small room. In his hand was an empty notebook and in his eyes were dreams, broken but still alive. He picked up his pen and wrote, "Failure has knocked me down, but staying down is not in my nature." That was the moment he decided. Instead of giving up, he would rise again, stronger than before. That same day, his teacher, Mrs. Green, called him. "Alex, I saw your design," she said. "Your hard work and vision were remarkable. The timing just wasn't right, but you have everything it takes to be successful." Those words became a spark of light for him. It felt as if someone had placed a hand on his shoulder and whispered, "You are not alone. Try again." Alex began to change himself. Every morning, he spent an hour in silence, thinking about his dreams, creating new plans, and reminding himself that success doesn't come quickly, but persistence always wins. He started every day with a simple positive line. "Today I will be better than yesterday." He set small daily goals, learning new skills, building stronger connections, and improving his weaknesses. At the end of each day, when he completed even a single task, he smiled. These small victories started filling him with new strength. Slowly, that little ray of courage grew into a shining light. People who once saw him broken were now surprised. The same Alex who had seemed defeated was now confident and determined. He had learned a simple truth. The real victory lies in the moments when the world pushes you down and you choose to rise again. In the journey of failure and struggle, one thing always shines the brightest: a true friend. For Alex, that friend was David, his childhood companion, who always believed in him no matter what the world said. Alex and David's friendship went back to their school days. They grew up on the same street, sharing similar dreams but walking on different paths. David always knew there was something special about Alex, a quiet magic, a spark that could inspire the world. After failure knocked Alex down when he was at his lowest, it was David who sat beside him and said, "Alex, do you know your greatest strength? You don't know how to give up. And I won't let you fall no matter what happens." Those words weren't just encouragement. They were a lifeline that changed the direction of Alex's life. When Alex decided to start learning and working again, David walked every step with him. Whether it was a small course or a tiny project, David always said, "These little steps will lead you to your big destination." Alex still remembers one evening when he was about to give up on a project because he couldn't find investors. David held his hand and said, "Remember this, Alex. The world believes in you only when you believe in yourself. And if you can't see your own strength right now, then see it through my eyes, because I know you can do this." It was in those moments that Alex realized dreams don't just belong to you. They also belong to the people who believe in you with all their hearts. That unwavering belief from a friend doubled Alex's drive. It felt like a hidden force pushing him forward, a strength that only comes from the bonds of true friendship. Alex had reached the point in his life where dreams were no longer just ideas, they had turned into responsibilities. He made a decision. It was time to give everything he had, to work day and night, no matter how many sacrifices it required. While others slept peacefully, Alex stayed awake, chasing his dream. In the silence of the night, his room light always glowed. Sitting in front of his laptop, he would go through every code, every file, every plan again and again. Most mornings, he would realize he hadn't slept a single minute when the first light of dawn broke. It wasn't easy. The electricity bills piled up. Friends and relatives often said, "This is just a waste of time." But Alex never let his focus waver. He kept telling himself, "If I don't believe in myself, no one else will." Months of sleepless nights finally began to show results. His small projects started catching people's attention. Every little success filled him with a new spark of motivation, and he whispered to himself, "No stopping now. The journey has just begun." Day and night of relentless work taught Alex one thing: patience and consistency. He realized that dreams don't come true with hard work alone. They need persistence. Even after every failure, he got back up the next morning with the same energy and determination. The bond between solitude and work. Many thought Alex was lonely, but he knew his solitude was his strength. In the quiet of his room, he spoke to his dreams as if they were his closest friends, friends he knew would one day come to life. Slowly, the results of his tireless efforts began to show. People started noticing his work, his projects started gaining recognition, but deep down, Alex knew this was just the beginning. The real test was still ahead. For the first time in Alex's life, there came a moment that felt like the very first fruit of his years of hard work. It wasn't a huge success, but it brought him a happiness that even the biggest awards in the world couldn't match. After endless days and nights of hard work, when Alex finally launched his first application, he couldn't believe his dream had turned into reality. On the first day, only 5 people noticed his work, but for Alex, those 5 people felt like millions. He smiled and whispered to himself, "This is just the beginning. The real game is yet to start." When his app received its first positive review, Alex read the message over and over again. A simple line filled his heart with a new kind of energy. "Great work, Alex. This app has potential." Those words became a light for Alex, turning every dark night into a spark of hope. Alex knew this success was small, but he also knew that every great achievement starts with small steps. He promised himself that no matter how long the road might be, he would never give up. With success also came criticism. Some people said it was just luck, while others claimed it wouldn't last long. But Alex smiled and said, "You keep criticizing, I'll keep working." This small victory sparked a new fire within him. Now Alex knew that people had started to recognize his potential, and that realization pushed him to work harder than ever before. Alex's journey was never a straight path. Where small successes had sparked confidence, moving forward brought obstacles that truly tested his resolve. These were the moments when a wall seemed to rise between his dreams and reality. When Alex launched his second app, he believed it would open even bigger doors to success. But the reality was the opposite. Bugs showed up, users left harsh reviews, and within days, the ratings plummeted. He spent sleepless nights trying to fix the code, but every solution only uncovered another problem. With big dreams came harsh realities, an empty wallet. His funds were running out, and his parents kept urging him to find a stable job. For Alex, the choice was brutal. He knew if he gave up now, all his hard work would mean nothing. Friends were there, but everyone had their own paths. Many nights, while coding, exhaustion would hit him, and he'd think, "Is this all going to waste?" But in the very next breath, his heart whispered, "Just one more try. Maybe this step will change everything." Every obstacle taught Alex something valuable. When the server crashed, he learned more about systems. When his app got rejected, he gained a better understanding of the market. These challenges were no longer enemies, they became teachers, shaping him into someone stronger. Alex reminded himself, "This journey won't be easy, but every roadblock brings me closer to my destination." He started seeing every failure as a sign, proof that he was still on the right path, just needing to push harder. Alex had weathered many storms, the bitterness of failure, the sting of criticism, and the weight of financial struggles. Yet through it all, a fire kept burning inside him, belief. The belief that if dreams are pure and effort is true, the destination never stays out of reach. Every night after hours of coding, he would sit quietly by the window. Looking down at the empty streets below, he'd glance at the sky and whisper, "I know one day all of this will work out. I just can't give up." Those silent prayers became his second name for hope, for there were times when people mocked him. All this coding and dreaming, just a waste of time. But then, out of nowhere, a message would arrive. An old friend writing, "Alex, your dedication inspires us all. You can do this." Those small words made his belief even stronger. Alex knew belief alone wasn't enough. Hard work was the key. He studied day and night, learned new technologies, and absorbed lessons from every failure. Belief gave him courage, and courage gave him the strength to keep grinding. Solitude no longer felt heavy to him. He realized that the greatest strength comes from connecting with yourself. Often he would look in the mirror and say, "You're the one who's going to prove everyone wrong. Just keep going." As time passed, his vision of the destination became sharper. He knew the road would be long, but he also knew this: one day he would reach that place, the place he once only dreamed about. Alex's life was slowly changing. He was no longer the quiet boy who only dreamed in silence. His hard work and patience had not only transformed his own world but also inspired others. People began to say, "If Alex can do it, why can't we?" Alex never worked hard to impress anyone. His only goal was to turn his dream into reality. But his sincerity and dedication became a shining light for those around him. Children from the neighborhood often asked him, "Alex, how do you work this hard?" With a gentle smile, he would reply, "Make hard work your habit and success will find its way to you." When he was invited to speak at the local community center to inspire the youth, Alex was surprised. Speaking from the heart, he said, "I'm not a superhero, just an ordinary guy who never stopped dreaming. Remember this, faith and hard work never betray you." His words sparked a new hope in the eyes of many young people sitting in the hall. Alex realized that his journey was no longer just his own. He had become an example for others. People started coming to him for advice, and Alex set a new purpose for his life. "I'll be the one who awakens dreams in others, just like my dream awakened me." In every meeting, Alex would repeat one line: "If you truly want it, anything is possible. Just don't let go of your dream." His words became more than just a saying. They became a motto for everyone around him. The moment Alex had dreamed of for years finally arrived. After countless days and nights of hard work, after wounds of failure and endless tests of patience, success finally knocked on his door. There was a global competition for a major international project. Thousands of candidates from around the world submitted their ideas, showcasing their creativity and effort. Alex submitted his idea too, but deep down there was still a flicker of fear. When the results were announced and his name appeared at the very top, tears of joy filled his eyes. This dream, it's finally real. His home was filled with celebration. His mother's eyes were wet with tears of pride and happiness. She was the same mother who used to say, "Son, giving up is easy, but winning takes courage." Alex hugged her and said, "This victory is because of your prayers and my faith." People who once mocked Alex were now showering him with praise. "We always knew you had something special." But Alex knew that true strength didn't lie in fame or compliments. It was in the journey he had walked to reach here. After his big win, Alex was invited to speak at a major platform. Thousands of people were seated, eager to hear his story. Alex took the microphone and said, "Yes, I won, but the real victory is that I never gave up." Remember, dream big and fight for those dreams, because dreams are what take us to victory. This victory wasn't the end, it was only the beginning. Alex knew the road ahead was longer, filled with bigger challenges, but now he was ready. If I can come this far, I can go even further. After Alex's success, the world seemed to change overnight. People who once ignored him were now always around, cameras flashing, interviews scheduled back to back, endless autograph requests, and millions of followers on social media. At first, it all felt like a dream, but slowly that dream turned into a heavy burden. Fame had its own colors. With admiration and respect came criticism and jealousy. Sharp, silent attacks that cut deep. People who didn't even know Alex formed opinions, spread rumors, and created stories far from the truth. Sometimes Alex would pause and wonder, is this the same world that once overlooked my quiet hard work? As his fame grew, the number of genuine people around him started to shrink. Friends who once stood by him slowly faded away. Crowds surrounded him everywhere, but deep inside there was only silence. In the quiet of the night, alone in his room, he would whisper to himself, Did I really dream of this? Is this what I wanted all along? Like every successful person, Alex became a target for criticism. Some people said his success was just luck. Others claimed he didn't deserve it and ignored his years of effort. He smiled through it all, but inside, those words left scars. Endless projects, interviews, and the constant need to appear perfect began to drain Alex. Sleep became rare, exhaustion became constant. Yet, he never let the world see his struggle. To them, he was only success, never the battle behind it. One night, Alex stood in front of the mirror and whispered, "Alex, this fame is not who you are. You are the journey, the fight, the sleepless nights. If you break now, your story will never be complete." That moment changed everything. He decided he would no longer let the weight of fame crush him. He would turn it into his strength. When Alex reached the heights of fame, the world saw him as a big star, yet nothing changed in his heart. He was still the same quiet and gentle boy who worked alone, tirelessly, to make his dreams come true. People were amazed that despite so much success, Alex's tone, manner, and smile remained as simple as on his first day. When someone asked Alex, "Why do you stay so humble even after becoming such a big star?" he would smile and say, "Because I know even if tomorrow I have nothing, humanity will always remain." Alex won everyone's heart with his humility. Wherever he went, he respected the young, learned from the elders, and sincerely thanked every fan. People said that his humility was his greatest strength. One day, a reporter asked him, "Alex, success has given you everything, but what is your greatest gain?" Alex replied softly, "I have learned that humility makes a person great and pride makes a person lonely." Despite fame and wealth, Alex never closed the doors of his heart to ordinary people. He often gave charity, encouraged children in schools to study, and said, "Any of you can achieve your dreams. You just need humility and courage in your heart." Alex knew that humility is the power that keeps a person grounded no matter how close the sky may seem. It was this humility that made him strong and content from within, giving him peace despite the noise of the world. Alex had reached the moment in his life when his hard work had brought him fame. People began analyzing his every move, commenting on every success and failure. At first, he welcomed it. He felt happy hearing praise and validation for his work. But soon he realized that with every light comes a shadow. In the beginning, the criticisms he heard seemed mild and constructive. But as his fame grew, some people started belittling his work, seeing it as insignificant. Negative comments from social media, friends, and even strangers began to pierce his heart like sharp knives. Some attacked his personality, some opposed his style and decisions, and others dismissed his dreams and hard work entirely. At first, Alex took all the criticism personally. He would sit alone at night, thinking about everything, asking himself, "Am I really as good as people say? Am I living up to my own expectations?" Every word, every comment felt heavy on his heart. He felt trapped in a circle of doubt, sometimes even losing faith in himself. Alex realized that criticism is not just words. It is a storm that shakes the mind, wounds the heart, and tests one's confidence. He would often think that maybe he had failed or that people were trying to bring him down instead of appreciating his efforts. Then one day came a moment that changed his perspective. He was reading a letter from his old teacher who had written, "The world's opinion cannot determine your courage or your purpose. True value lies in what you feel within yourself." These words touched Alex deeply. He understood that not everyone's opinion reflects reality, and often people criticize out of jealousy, fear, or insecurity. Alex decided to use criticism as a tool for learning. He looked for lessons in every negative comment. If someone criticized his work, he would ask himself, "Is there any truth in this? Can I do better?" And if the answer was no, he would ignore it, knowing that other people's opinions do not define his worth. This was not easy. Alex spent days, weeks, and months strengthening his self-confidence. He began his days with meditation and self-reflection, remembering his achievements, reviewing his hard work, and trying to understand the lessons behind every criticism. He learned that everyone's opinion can differ, and those who stay focused on their purpose can stand firm through any storm. Alex also realized that criticism is not always negative. Sometimes it provides an opportunity to see mistakes and improve. He learned that accepting constructive feedback is part of growth, and ignoring unnecessary or negative criticism is wisdom. During this phase, Alex faced many challenges, but he constantly reminded himself that his purpose was not just success. It was to live with integrity, humility, and human values. He spent more time with close friends and family, drawing strength from their love and support. He understood that true strength and peace lie in maintaining self-belief even in the midst of a storm of criticism. Eventually, Alex began treating criticism as a normal part of fame and work. He realized that both praise and criticism are temporary. What truly matters is his effort, hard work, and sincerity of heart. He established a principle within himself. No matter what the world says, he would stay true to his purpose, continue working hard, and learn from every experience. This chapter became a milestone for Alex. No matter what the world says, self-belief, patience, and humility are true power. He understood that the storm of criticism will always come, but those who maintain inner peace and faith can stand firm even in the fiercest storms. Alex learned that true success is not just achieving goals, but staying committed to principles, humility, and hard work despite difficulties and criticism. Understanding that every comment, opinion, and observation holds a lesson in life became Alex's greatest reward. After weathering the storm of criticism, Alex learned a new lesson. The world will always make noise, but true peace and strength lie in inner silence. He now understood that sometimes it is not necessary to speak or share every thought with others. Silence is a support that calms the heart, clears the mind, and gives the courage to stay focused on one's purpose. Alex began incorporating silence into his daily life. While others were busy with noise and distractions in the morning, he would sit quietly in a corner, exploring his inner world. These moments helped him understand his true purpose and emotions. He reflected on his successes and failures, listened to the sincere voice of his heart, and organized his thoughts. Silence taught Alex that emotions do not need to be suppressed. He felt every heartbeat, every worry, and every joy. He realized that inner calm gives resilience even in the midst of the world's chaos. People can speak, comment, and judge, but a person with inner peace and consistency can face any storm. One day, Alex noticed that when he remained silent, doors to his thoughts opened. He could better understand his fears, doubts, and feelings. Silence also taught him that not every reaction or response is necessary. Sometimes, observing, listening, and reflecting quietly is the greatest strength. Alex made silence a habit in his life. When people praised his successes or made negative comments, he chose to remain quiet and ask himself, "Is this true? Does this matter for my growth?" This approach gave him new confidence. He realized that his own opinion and the voice of his heart matter far more than the world's judgments. In these quiet moments, Alex nurtured his creativity. He generated new ideas, reflected on his projects, and planned his next steps. Silence made him stronger from within, helping him become more balanced, confident, and thoughtful. This stage of his life was not just about finding peace, it was about self-awareness and emotional strength. He learned that listening, reflecting, and valuing one's inner voice is an art, and this art became the foundation of his success in every challenge. Alex realized that through silence he could prevent criticism and unnecessary opinions from affecting his life. He understood that the world's noise is temporary and true peace and strength are always found in inner quiet. Anyone connected to their inner world can remain steadfast in the toughest moments. Silence also taught Alex that patience and restraint are sometimes the greatest wisdom. While most people feel the urge to react immediately, he learned that patience and quiet strengthen a person. The secret to finding calm amidst chaos is to listen to your inner voice and respond only when necessary. Through silence, Alex gained a new sense of self. He became more confident and less affected by others' opinions, whether positive or negative. He understood that true strength and peace come from within, and they are not influenced by comments, criticism, or praise. This chapter became a milestone in Alex's journey. Silence taught him that at every stage of life, success or failure, praise or criticism, true peace and strength lie within. He realized that embracing silence allows one to better understand oneself and to face any storm the world may bring. For Alex, silence was no longer just a practice, it became a philosophy. He understood that real power is not in speaking, but in listening, understanding, and maintaining inner calm. Through the support of silence, he could live each moment with more thought, care, and contentment. This chapter marked a new beginning in Alex's life. He was no longer intimidated by the world's judgments or storms of criticism. He had learned that inner silence, patience, and self-awareness are the keys to true strength and peace. Alex had gone through many stages in his life: failure, hard work, criticism, and silence. But now a new chapter was beginning, one that was not just about improving himself, but about giving the world a lesson. He realized that true impact comes from one's own success and ethics, and the time had come to use his achievements, experiences, and the power of learning to open the eyes of the world. In his early days, Alex had pursued his hard work and achievements only for personal goals. But as his fame grew, he noticed that people often envied visible successes and rarely recognized the real struggle and effort behind them. Alex understood that it was essential to show the world that success is not merely a result of luck or convenience. It comes from consistent effort, patience, and staying true to one's principles. Alex first decided to reflect on and organize his experiences and lessons learned. He made a commitment to not only inspire people with his work, but also to show them that success is possible after any hardship. He realized that to open the eyes of the world, success alone is not enough. One must openly share their story, emotions, and challenges. He recorded every lesson of his life, every failure, every criticism, every lonely night, and every small victory. He understood that when a person speaks openly about their truth and effort, it not only becomes an example for others, but also sparks hope in their hearts. At first, Alex shared his story with close friends and family. He spoke openly about his emotions, fears, and doubts, and revealed the story behind each of his experiences. People were surprised to learn that behind the shiny life they saw, there were countless difficulties, lonely nights, and battles of the heart. Next, Alex decided to expand his story further. He began speaking at local events, schools, and universities, sharing his experiences with young people. He explained that success doesn't come overnight, but through patience, hard work, and relentless effort. He showed that criticism and opinions of the world do not define a person's true value, and anyone who works diligently toward their dreams will eventually shine. Alex realized that the most powerful way to open the world's eyes is through example and behavior. He not only achieved success in life, but also set an example of ethics, humility, and hard work. People were inspired by his story and motivated to pursue their own dreams. One day, Alex noticed that those who observed his work and story were starting to recognize the hidden potential within themselves. They understood that every person has strength and the ability to work hard. They just need to recognize it and put it into action. Seeing this, Alex felt deep joy, knowing that his effort and story had truly opened the eyes of the world. To make his story even more impactful, Alex adopted practical methods. He didn't just speak, he showed. He conducted workshops with young people, involved them in his work, and taught them how to understand and overcome challenges. He explained that behind every success is a hidden story, and it is this story that truly inspires people. This stage of Alex's life was not just about success, it was about being a guide. He wasn't just winning for himself, but setting an example for others. Opening the eyes of the world meant not only being seen, but also igniting hope, courage, and the drive to persevere in people's hearts. This chapter was deeply emotional for Alex. He often thought that if his hard work, sacrifices, and nights filled with effort were helping others, then none of it had been in vain. He realized that true influence comes from truth, effort, and dedication, and this influence can truly open the eyes of the world. Alex committed to continuing his story. He understood that every day, every moment, and every experience could serve as a lesson for himself and others. Opening the world's eyes is not just about fame or success. It is about inspiring courage, showing the power of truth and hard work, and convincing people that anyone can achieve their goals. Finally, Alex understood that opening the eyes of the world is a continuous process. Every new story, experience, and lesson is an opportunity to illuminate others with one's experiences. He realized that true power and impact lie in a person's own effort, patience, and truth, and when this is shared with the world, it genuinely opens eyes. For Alex, this chapter brought a new light. He had become someone who could not only illuminate his own path, but also show light to others. He realized that after success, effort, criticism, silence, and self-awareness, the true goal is to spark hope in the hearts of people and open their eyes. Alex had already traversed many stages in his life: failure, hard work, criticism, silence, and the lesson of opening the eyes of the world. But now, a new journey was beginning called the pinnacle of dreams. This was the stage where a person experiences the reality of their dreams through hard work, determination, and patience, and witnesses the fruits of the effort behind every success in life. Alex had always dreamed big, but these dreams were not mere wishes, they were guiding lights. Every day, every moment, every challenge was bringing him closer to his dreams. Now the time had come to see the results of his efforts, but this pinnacle was not just about outward success. It was about personal growth, inner strength, and the triumph of his values and ethics. At first, Alex realized that the pinnacle of dreams was not just reaching a goal, it was a continuous journey. Every small victory, every lesson, and every experience was part of this peak. He understood that those who only look at the outcome never truly appreciate the effort and struggle behind it. For Alex, the pinnacle meant feeling every moment, every challenge, and every success, and learning from them all. Alex made every day in his life count. He would think about his dreams in the morning, immerse himself in work throughout the day, and reflect on his day at night. He learned that the pinnacle of dreams does not come in a single day. It is a continuous journey requiring patience, perseverance, and determination. One day, Alex realized that his effort, struggle, and ethics had taken him to a new level. He could see that his dreams were no longer just dreams, they had become reality. This realization filled his heart with peace and joy. He understood that the pinnacle of dreams was not about fame or wealth, but about the strength within, adherence to principles, and the success of his purpose. During this stage, Alex compiled all the lessons of his life. Every failure, every criticism, every lonely night, and every small success was part of this pinnacle. He understood that all these experiences were shaping him to be stronger, more determined, and more cautious. The pinnacle of dreams was not just about achieving a goal, it was also about refining one's character and ethics. At this peak, Alex also began to influence the lives of others. He was not just showcasing his success, but teaching people that achieving dreams requires patience, hard work, and sticking to principles. He realized that true success is one that leads to personal growth and also creates a positive impact on others' lives. Alex understood that the greatest power in the pinnacle of dreams is the fire within. He knew that if a person works wholeheartedly toward their dream, no obstacle can stop them. Every difficulty, challenge, and failure only strengthens that fire. He established a principle in his life that courage, patience, and consistent effort are the greatest powers in achieving dreams. Another important aspect of this pinnacle for Alex was maintaining humility and inner peace despite his success. He understood that anyone who reaches the peak and succumbs to pride loses true tranquility. He realized that the true pinnacle of dreams is where a person shares their achievements with others and recognizes the strength within themselves. Alex shared his story with young people and others so they too could reach the pinnacle of their dreams. He explained that behind every success lies long hours of hard work, many lonely nights, and perseverance through every challenge. He assured people that dreams are not distant targets, but the results of daily effort and continuous struggle. Alex did not see the pinnacle of dreams as a destination, but as a continuous process. Every day, every moment, and every experience was part of this peak. He realized that the true joy of achieving dreams lies in the effort, patience, and commitment to principles. Ultimately, Alex realized that the pinnacle of dreams was not just his personal success, it had also opened the eyes of the world. People were inspired by his story, started striving for their own dreams, and understood that true success comes from consistent effort and adherence to values. For Alex, this stage of the pinnacle of dreams became the most beautiful and memorable moment of his life. He understood that true success is not merely achieving goals, but living life with inner strength, effort, and principles. The pinnacle of dreams had made him not just successful, but also a guide, an example, and a fulfilled human being. Much had changed in Alex's life. He had become a successful person who had opened the eyes of the world with his hard work, patience, and principles, reached the pinnacle of his dreams, and set an example for others. But the theme of this chapter was not merely success, it was about the inner world of a silent dreamer and the secrets it held. In the beginning, Alex felt the need to share his dreams with others. He wanted to show that anything is possible through effort and patience. But soon he realized that not everything needs to be revealed. Some dreams are meant to be kept safe within the heart, nurtured quietly. This was the moment Alex discovered himself as a silent dreamer. Within Alex, behind every achievement, lay a hidden world of dreams. He often sat alone at night, visualizing all that he had felt, learned, and achieved. He understood that the true joy of dreaming lies not just in seeing, but in feeling the dreams within the heart, contemplating them, and turning them into reality through effort. Alex's silence was not just a habit, it became a philosophy. He knew that the world's opinions and comments would always exist, but a person who truly feels their dreams internally is not swayed by criticism or praise. This silence gave him peace, strength, and mental resilience. A silent dreamer is always thoughtful, understanding their inner feelings and thoughts. Alex did the same. Alongside his achievements, he also recalled his failures, doubts, and fears. He knew that these experiences played a vital role in fulfilling his dreams. These moments of quiet were like a training ground where he strengthened his inner power and stayed focused on his purpose. Alex realized that a dreamer is always active. He didn't just think, he transformed his thoughts into action. Every small step, every minor victory, and every lesson brought him closer to the reality of his silent dreams. He learned that dreaming and turning dreams into reality is only possible through action, effort, and patience. Alex's silence and thoughts were expansive. He didn't just reflect on his own life, but also considered others. He understood that every person harbors dreams, and anyone who recognizes their inner strength and believes in their dreams can truly succeed. He decided to share his experiences with others so they too could appreciate and transform their dreams into reality. Alex channeled his silence into creative energy. He conceived new projects, generated ideas, and took small steps to bring his dreams to life. Every action, brought him closer to his purpose, and every success reminded him that feeling and nurturing dreams is the greatest power of all. Being a silent dreamer for Alex was not merely an act or a way of thinking, it was a personal journey. He understood that every individual has a hidden dream, and those who cherish it, progress with patience and effort, achieve true success. This stage was deeply emotional and meaningful for Alex. In his silence, he understood and organized his feelings, thoughts, and experiences. Every day, every moment, every night brought him closer to the realization of his dreams. He realized that the true joy and peace in life come from connecting with one's dreams and moving steadily toward their fulfillment. Alex understood that a silent dreamer is never influenced by others' opinions about their dreams. No matter what the world says, praise or criticism, the real success is what one feels internally and achieves through their own efforts. He realized that dreams nurtured in silence are the strongest and most genuine because they are felt deeply and are closest to reality. Ultimately, Alex understood that a silent dreamer not only turns their dreams into reality but also becomes an example for others. They demonstrate that with hard work, patience, and inner peace, dreaming and achieving is possible. He knew that every person possesses this power, they just need to recognize their dreams in silence and work tirelessly toward them. For Alex, this chapter brought a new realization. He understood that even after success and fame, the greatest strength lies in recognizing the dreams within and feeling them silently. A silent dreamer is someone who not only cherishes their dreams but works persistently to bring them to life. This chapter became a significant milestone in Alex's journey. He realized that the true power and peace in life are hidden within one's dreams. And those who recognize these dreams and act upon them reach genuine success and the pinnacle of fulfillment. Lessons we can all learn from Alex's life. Alex's life was a journey where every moment, every step, and every experience taught an important lesson. The young boy who set out in search of his dreams had become an example of how far a person can go by living with hard work, patience, and principles. The biggest lesson from Alex's life is that true success and peace do not come just from achieving goals, but from living every step of life with values, ethics, and honesty of heart. Alex showed that success is never a matter of luck or chance. Behind every achievement there are countless nights, days of effort, and consistent hard work. He understood the importance of dedication in every moment of life and taught us that anyone who works sincerely for their dreams will reach their goals one day. Alex faced many failures in his life, but he treated every failure as a lesson. He knew that each failure makes a person stronger, every mistake is an opportunity to learn, and every challenge brings one closer to their dreams. He taught us that failure is not something to fear. It is a way to grow and improve. Alex experienced that the world always has opinions, some positive and some negative. He learned that criticism is part of everyone's life, but those who stay focused on their goals and recognize their own worth can survive any storm. This reminds us that the opinions of others cannot define who we really are. Alex used silence to balance his successes and failures. He realized that inner silence, understanding one's thoughts and emotions, and connecting with one's inner world is true strength. Silence gives peace, helps in making better decisions, and keeps us focused on the real purpose of life. Alex understood that dreaming and working for those dreams is the true purpose of life. Dreams do not come true on their own. They require patience, dedication, and consistent effort. He taught us that if we work sincerely for our dreams, no obstacle can stop us. Alex not only lived for himself but also became an example for others. Through his story, experiences, and achievements, he gave hope and courage to others. True success is not just for yourself, it is also about the positive impact you have on others. Alex realized that even with success and fame, humility must be maintained. Pride weakens a person, and without peace, success loses its meaning. True strength is not in achievements alone, but in character, principles, and purity of heart. Alex showed that a person who keeps their dreams quietly in their heart is often the strongest. Such a person not only turns dreams into reality, but also sets an example for others. Dreams nurtured in silence are the most real and powerful because they come from the heart and are closer to reality. In the end, Alex's life teaches us that the true journey of success is living with inner strength, principles, patience, and hard work. Praise and criticism are temporary, but anyone who lives with their dreams, effort, and honesty of heart will always be successful and happy. Alex's journey also reminds us that every moment, every experience, and every challenge in life teaches something. Failure, criticism, silence, and hard work, they all make a person stronger, more confident, and determined. Those who learn these lessons and move toward their dreams achieve true success and peace. Alex's story is an example that every person has immense power within them. All it takes is to move forward with dreams, effort, and honesty of heart. This lesson is practical and inspiring for anyone, regardless of age, status, or circumstances. Finally, Alex reminds us that life's true purpose is not just to achieve success, but to recognize our dreams, work patiently to fulfill them, and be a source of light for others. His life is a guide for everyone, a true example of how a person can turn their dreams into reality through inner peace, effort, and principles. And that's the journey of Alex, a young dreamer who faced failure, criticism, and countless obstacles, yet never gave up. Through patience, hard work, and unwavering belief, he turned his dreams into reality and inspired the world around him. Remember, your struggles today are the lessons that lead to your success tomorrow. Stay persistent, stay humble, and never stop dreaming. If Alex's story touched your heart, make sure to hit that subscribe button and join Heart Scrolls for more stories that inspire, motivate, and remind us why dreams are worth chasing. See you in the next story.